Another one. Another one on the Bellows Gill, guys. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. There we go, guys. There's a good one for the morning. There was one right there. Oh, that's the biggest fish of the trip. That's a chunker there. This trip went from not much to pretty good in a short period of time, y'all. Guys, we have a perfectly calm, hot morning. Not a ripple on the water. Let's go see if we can get a fish to eat a dragonfly. Also got a weightless 2/8 Bellows Gill tied on. And I got a swim bait rod. Got that nugget tied on. Let's try to go rip a few lips. Guys, don't know what it is, but got a bunch of sunfish to kind of tap at it, but they're not wanting to eat that dragon slayer, so I'm going to switch up topwater lures. Oh, that's been about the significance of it so far. Hour and a half in, guys. Gotten a few bites like that. Nothing's eating it. In my head, I guess I exaggerated how good the water quality I thought it was when I checked it yesterday. It looks terrible the further I get back here. Got a little one finally. After about 1 million of them have dodged it. Finally got a little spot. Right as a wind gust came up too, so maybe that'll be our saving grace. I thought that since there had been quite a bit of rain recently, we'd have some decent current, so the slick calm conditions honestly wouldn't affect the bite too bad, but I was wrong, because any other time that it's slick calm down here, it is always extremely tough fishing. And somehow I've had 4 blow-ups and they've missed those 2 treble hooks that are an inch apart. Somehow not got them, and that's the first one that did, and he had it across the mouth. So maybe we're coming up on a bite window, guys. Let's keep our heads up. There's another one. There we go. All right, guys, and that one's better, and that one's better. Yep, that's a better one. All right, a little bit of wind. A little bit of wind, that's what it took. I'm going to my Ultra Confidence topwater bait, especially for the river, guys, at Whopper Plopper 60. I knew they couldn't hide from us all morning long, so I think we actually just got a little too early of a start. This is probably the time I actually should have come down here, when there was a little bit of wind on the water, but Whopper Plopper 60, just a slow, steady retrieve. I think they're going to start actually eating it, not just coming up and smashing it out of the water, guys. That's one of the more frustrating feelings in fishing, guys, is when you're topwater fishing and they come up and just bulldoze it and somehow don't get the hooks. But that feels good to actually stick a decent one. Let's keep going. There's another one, guys. I think that one's better too. Or that, there was 2 of them. That was sick. There were 2 spots. He's still a little bigger than that first spot we caught. Pretty little river spotted bass right there. You can see the stripes on his belly right there. There's another one. Really small though. Thought it might have been a bluegill for a second, but I think it's just another little spot. That's 3 casts in a row though, guys. That's probably the other spot that was fighting over it with the last one. That's 3 casts in a row. Let's keep fishing hard. Got him. Really small one. Another little spot. There's a little bass. Man, lots of little spots, guys. There's one. He might be a little better. Yeah, he's a little better. Oh, that's a bigger spot, guys. I'm hitting my targets too, guys. I'm honestly fishing really well. The bass are just not big. This one's probably the second biggest fish I've caught today. I'll take him. I don't think I said it yet though, guys, but I'm throwing that on my Sioux fox hunting rod with the Sioux Dark Wolf and straight 10-pound braid. Still throwing that little bone Whopper Plopper 60. Another spotted bass. Golly, first cast here, no way. Gosh, maybe I should have just come over to this stretch today. Guys, I pushed a board on the first spot, used the V8 motor to get us over here, and I catch a bass on the very first cast, just like flipping it in on the Bellows Gill. I put a little tungsten, a 1/32 ounce tungsten on there as well. I'm gonna see if I can catch a bunch on that little screw lock hook and that Bellows Gill. I was hoping I wasn't gonna lose many on them, but I already lost that one. But it had come off once at the first spot, so maybe that's why. Another one. Another one on the Bellows Gill, guys. That one feels better. What is that? Feels like a better fish, guys. Yeah, that's a good bass. Golly. I should have just come here right off the bat, son of a gun. That is a really nice bass, guys, on that 2.8-inch Bellows Gill. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. There, that screw lock killed that bait on. Now we're talking. Yes, sir. That's why we were persistent, kept fishing. There we go, guys. There's a good one for the morning. 2.8-inch G-crack Bellows Gill with a 1/32 ounce tungsten on a #2 Coltiva twist lock hooks with 7-pound Sunline FC Sniper on my Sioux Dark Wolf and 7'4" Dobbin Sierra. Another one. Think it's better too, guys. Not bad. Come on up. There's 3 fish in about 10 minutes. So I'd say we just made the wrong choice on location this morning. Thought it would be the right one. I was proven wrong. We got here a little after 10:30. I'm gonna stay till noon. Let's see how many fish we can catch. There's one. There he is. Woo! That's the cool part about this bait too, guys, is if you're fishing into the wind like on a paddleboard, even if they pick it up and run with it for a little while, they do not let go of those little G-crack baits, I'm telling you. Whether it be the scent or something, they do not let go of them. We're just gonna give him a quick close-up so we don't lose too much ground against the wind. Not bad, fun to catch. Let's see if I can get a few more fish out of this plastic, even though it came off of the top end of the screw lock. There's another one. Saw him running with it sideways. Sick. Oh, that's the second biggest fish right there, boys. That's a nice one. Man, that bite was subtle. I saw the line moving sideways. Got him in the lower lip somehow. Not bad though. And I was able to reuse that same plastic, y'all. So we just caught 4 fish on that same little Bellows Gill, which is pretty dang solid, considering anytime I used to use them on Texas rigs on an EWG hook, they'd get tore up real fast. Y'all, if you see me fishing those G-Crack soft plastics, it's probably because I'd been struggling beforehand. But since I switched spots, I put 5 fish on the board in a very short period of time. Y'all ever seen a sign quite like that? Reserve parking for a sad bologna sandwich. I've seen some pretty wild trash in this river in my past. That's one of the funnier things. I got a good one, I think, guys. I think I got a good one. It was right next to something. Oh man. Oh, I gotta be light with him. He rubbed me on something initially. Yeah, that's a pretty solid one there, boys. I had one jump off. It was this big right by the paddleboard not too long ago. There we go. Got a nice fat head on him. A few boogers on the side of his body, but whoo, that beats this morning. Good grief. Just beating our head into the wall, throwing that whopper plopper in dirty water. This water's not that much cleaner, guys, but it's got a little more ripple on it with current. The trees aren't so big and covered on the sides, so it allows that ripple to come through, and there you go. Results. And y'all, you might be wondering why I'm fishing into the wind on my paddleboard, but when I fish bottom baits, especially when the bite's just a little slower, I like to fish into the wind because I'll cast it out and then I always have to take like a 1 or 2 pump with my right arm, and as I'm doing that, it forces me to fish that bait a lot slower and let it fall all the way to the bottom before I start fishing it, because I'm one of those guys that doesn't have a lot of patience, and a lot of times I'll fish my bottom baits too fast. So fishing into the wind literally forces me to fish that bait at a much slower rate that the fish are more willing to eat it at. And because the water is dirty today, guys, I like throwing the really small tungsten on there. That's a 1/32 ounce tungsten, and it allows that bait to fall super slow in this dirtier water, so those fish have a longer time to find it since they can't see it that well. There's one. Is that a crappie? Yeah, it's a freaking big crappie on the Bellows Gill. Holy cow. That's awesome. That is a really nice crappie. Dang it, something bit my tail off though. That's a cool catch though. This trip went from not much to pretty good in a short period of time, y'all. Another one. He's got a little bit of weight to him, I think. Ooh. Not bad. Not bad, guys. Golly, how did he eat that so good? He about to have that thing out through the other end by the time I got the hook set. Just inhaled it right off the bat. There's one. There's one under the trees. Not a bad one either, guys. Skipping in under this tree. He was in the shade. Healthy one. All right. Roof of the mouth shot. Oh, guys, yikes. There was one right there. Oh, and it's a good one. Woo! Oh man, don't get me in any snags, please. Oh, that's the biggest fish of the trip. Oh, he's trying to go in there. Gotcha. That is a really nice Bellows Gill fish, guys. Oh, he just shook it off. Please don't get the hook out. Oh, got him. Woo! That's a chunker there. Well, I was trying to get re-rigged, had the fish right there, and he just did an early release on himself, but that was a nice one, boys. On those 2-weight Bellows Gills, man. Quite a bit bigger than the 2-inch ones, so they get bites on their own. Whoa, boys. Oh, boys. Oh. Yeah, really nice one. Man. Let's go. He just stopped it. Has it down the hatch. That might be the fish we go home on right there, boys. Well, I did not catch them the way that I planned to, guys. The first spot, they must have been letting a little more water out of the lake overnight because I had checked the day before and it looked pretty clear. But when I got there, it wasn't near as clear as it was the day before. I still tried throwing all different kinds of topwater baits, the dragonfly, the walking bait, a popper, and then I finally got a few fish to react to the little Whopper Plopper 60, which really isn't a surprise. And you talk about like a uber confident topwater bait that I throw, it's that Whopper Plopper 60. It allows you to cover so much water. You can pause it, you can work it like a popper, you can steady retrieve it. It's very versatile, and just the sound, the disturbance on the water is something that makes the bass react. I got one pretty good fish on topwater, which you can't complain about. But then I had to switch spots, guys, because the first area just died. And I figured I would just come to another stretch and drag a worm and see if I could put something together. And sure enough, that little 2.8 Bellows Gill, man, it put a ton of fish on the paddleboard in a hurry. I probably caught 12 bass in a matter of like an hour and a half with that little bit of time that I had left. It's 12:30 now, gotta get back to the house. Let me know what y'all thought about this one in the comments, guys. Leave a like for me if you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing if you haven't yet. Check out the links to gear and discount codes in the description above, and check out links to more Bait Finesse bass action in the pinned comment below. A really good topwater video is still coming in the future, guys. I can feel it. It just hasn't quite come all together yet, but I really want to get a video where I'm just out there getting blow up after blow up, and I think if I hit the right place at the right time, we can make it happen. But other than that, y'all take her easy. Catch you on the next one. Oh, guys, yikes. There was one right there. Oh, and it's a good one. Oh, that's the biggest fish of the trip.